Hey there, and welcome to GamePoints episode 104, a weekly little get-together. We talk about the past week in gaming news. I am, as always, your host, Stephen Brown, and joining me today is...
David Smith.
Today, David, everything that happened last week fucking sucked.
Yeah. What's funny is, I feel like 2 weeks ago we had that exact same problem where everything just sucked.
Yeah. We have the FTC giving two assholes a slap on the wrist. We have Destiny making things microtransactions that weren't microtransactions before. And if you have been away from the
Internet?
social media for the past 24 hours, we had one of the biggest YouTube stars, the biggest YouTube stars out there, say the N-word on a live stream. And with that, let's go ahead and get right into things. No need to beat around the bush, no song or dance, let's just say it. PewDiePie, fresh from allegations of being called a neo-Nazi by the Wall Street Journal, and I will go ahead and say flat out, that was bullshit. Right? We can agree that the Wall Street article was a fucking hit piece on him. They took a bunch of stuff out of context.
Oh, that shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was just... People got mad at him for stuff. But it didn't stop any of his fame. As a matter of fact, he gained followers after all those allegations. So...
he
didn't really amount to anything.
Is arguably the face of YouTube when it comes to the gaming side of things. He is
He's honestly the reason I could say that a lot of streamers or Let's Players started in the first place. Because of his old reaction Let's Play videos and shit.
It's safe to call him a role model, right?
Yeah. Well,
even if he wants to be one or not.
Debatably, I would say influence. How's that?
Okay. I would say role model. Sorry. A lot of kids watch his shit. A lot of kids try to be him. Well, he started a big controversy yesterday when he said the N-word live during a stream of PUBG. I'm going to go ahead and play the clip right now. I'm not going to say anything during it so you can hear it in its entirety. It's about a minute long, so let's just go ahead and get that rolling right now.
What a fucking nigger. Jeez, oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry, but what the fuck? What a fucking asshole. I don't mean that in a bad way, Jesus.
Alright, I don't know if you could hear it on your end, David, but there he is. He says, what a fucking N-word, what a fucking asshole, and then he immediately corrects himself. He realizes what exactly he said, and says, I don't mean it that way. Yeah, so that happened. It was kind of met with near universal condemnation from the traditional gaming press, calling him a racist and that everyone should have seen this coming based on the Wall Street Journal article, which right there I have to kind of go, no, the Wall Street Journal thing was a fucking hit piece, but this thing you can be upset about. This is one of those things where people immediately run to their corners and start throwing false information and bullshit back and forth between each other. And I'm forced to defend people that I don't want to defend and forced to take sides I don't want to take. And there's all this bullshit going around now on both sides. You have his fans going, oh, there ain't nothing wrong with him saying that. It's fine. And then you have everyone else go, no, he's been a racist for 10 years. It's like, motherfuckers, stop. Let's just keep our minds focused on this one thing for now. Is that so hard to ask?
So we're gonna start with. Are we gonna judge him right now?
Well, I guess that's what we have to ask, right?
Are you gonna judge him? You want me to judge him?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you go ahead and let off? Is PewDiePie really racist?
Well, he's a little bit of an asshole, but I've always thought he's a little bit of an asshole. That's kind of been true for the entirety of his career. I think that's why a lot of people liked him.
Fair enough, but is he racist?
Who knows? It's impossible to tell from someone actually just saying the word, but he did definitely go with the hard R.
Yeah. He did not go with the he went with the
rap lyric quote version of it, which I know it's all bad, but from some of the circles that I've interacted with, I guess one is less bad. I don't actually fucking know. I don't say either. So, you know.
Does saying it make you racist? Does just saying the word make you racist? Because there are a lot of people online who say
cracker make you racist.
Well, the same people who would say saying the N-word makes you racist would also likely say that you can't be racist to white people. Yes, I know that's a generalization, but I think it's an accurate generalization.
depending on the age of the person, I'm willing to bet a lot of the preteens that play Call of Duty that call people the worst things you can possibly think of are not actually racist and are just parroting other shit they've heard from people.
That's
like
why I
streamers.
asked. That's why I wanted to ask if he was a role model.
But that is a good point, because he's dropping this shit while he's playing a game online in front of a bunch of people, and if a bunch of kids get online and they get mad and they start yelling this, then yeah, how does that influence their behavior?
Well, they see him, they see someone they like watching, they see someone that they want to be, and who, I mean, love or hate PewDiePie, the motherfucker's successful. Who doesn't want to be super successful? They see that and they go, hey, this is the path to success, right? Let's start copying PewDiePie. And I'll say flat out, I hate the fact that we give so much agency to that word specifically. I won't even say it on the show, not necessarily because I think just saying it makes you racist. I don't. I think just saying the word is just saying the fucking word. But there's so much political third rail negativity behind it that you can destroy your career saying it even in context with something else that isn't even remotely racist. Like if I were to quote PewDiePie, what he had said exactly, people could take that shit out of context and go, oh, fucking racist.
I mean, I'd record that clip of you and then I'd put it on a YouTube page.
Yeah. And I don't want YouTube or Twitter fucking with the algorithm going, oh, well, he said this, even though he was quoting someone. Let's go fuck his channel.
Well, also there's the chance, right? Hold on. You said algorithms. We really got to think about the fact that potentially if you start throwing that kind of shit out there, that will automatically start showing up if you're watching PewDiePie videos. Hey, you like this guy? He says racial slurs. Why don't you watch these fucking assholes?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, right? So that's something we all have to ask, right? Is just saying the word itself instantly mean you're a racist? Or does context matter? If context matters, what context is it saying? Just saying it in nigger, like equating essentially the N-word with asshole? Because that's what he did. Like, this isn't like Wall Street Journal juxtaposing bullshit to make a story where there's any. This is him calling someone that word and then following up, no, I meant with asshole, which means, in my opinion, to him, that means they're interchangeable. Or do I have to actually walk up to a black person on the street and go, what are you doing here? Insert word. And this is why... Go ahead and respond.
Well, I'm going to say the easy answer.
Okay.
As a white person, I'm not allowed to decide if something's racist.
Incorrect. No, I know there's a segment of the population that say that, and they're like, oh, check your privilege. Fuck that. We all have different experiences. You don't know what any one of us has lived through. That's like saying you can't comment on the Chinese government unless you've lived in China. Get fucked. So...
By the Chinese government?
Or anyone who makes that same idea. So the problem is that we give such agency to the word, we can't even fucking say it, and now you turn into this Orwellian newspeak bullshit to where you can't talk about the topic, because even mentioning the topic itself is so taboo, people are afraid to even broach it, which was the exact point of newspeak in 1984, by the way, to limit what people can say so they can't discuss topics that might be important. That's why I hate this fucking agency this word has. Yes, I get that it has a horrible history associated to it. But we can't have a discussion if we can't say it. Not that I'm going to right now, but for all the reasons I mentioned before, because it's so fucking toxic. And that's truly tragic. So, from my point of view, when it comes to this specific word, there is this growing group of mostly younger people who see the word as just that, a word. And it's not the word that hurts people, it's the connotation behind it. And many of them say it, and they're not racist. Like you talked about Xbox Live, you have a bunch of grade school kids screaming it back and forth. Do you know why they say it? It's not because they hate black people. They say it because they want to be edgy. They say it because they want to piss off the authority. They say it for this...
Because it makes their parents angry at them. And
yeah.
If their parents don't want them to do it, then that's the most fun thing you can do.
It's punk rock. It's rebelling against authority. That is why it is said. They look at someone who's arguing with him saying, no, PewDiePie is racist. And the kids who are his fans don't think, well, maybe I should think about that he's racist or not. They immediately go, I'm going to lambaste you. I'm going to put up all these Hitler memes and say all this horrible shit to you because I know it pisses you off. And then that person they're trying to piss off goes, oh, look at all these other little fucking Hitlers and racists everywhere. And then the kids start laughing at them because they've just proven their point about how out of touch some of these people are. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's... I personally don't think that that word should be used when you're fucking live streaming for thousands of people. And I really hate the fact that PewDiePie, like it or not, is the fucking face of YouTube. And when he says shit like this, it affects everything on YouTube.
Yep. Well, because what are they going to do? His stuff is promoted. His stuff is everywhere. He lands on the front page with videos. I know he got some criticism not too long ago, but he still has a ridiculous amount of subscribers. All of his videos are on shit tons of people's front pages. Is YouTube going to, like, start pulling his stuff down because of what he says? Because at this point, as he is, well, as you said, the face of YouTube, does that mean that he potentially speaks on behalf of YouTube? Now, I understand that he's not an employee, but in the case of social media, that's not really what I'm asking. If you have for example, whoever's the most famous Twitch streamer, and everybody watches that Twitch streamer, aren't they not at least some point a representative of Twitch, or at least the game they're playing? We talked about a World Tanks player quite a while ago that had issues and, you know, was allowed to play and was invited to events and all this stuff by the people that actually make the game. And he said some choice words, and they disagreed with him and completely cut him out of them. Right? Because in their minds, he represented them, even though he was his own entity.
Yes, but it's hard to make... I mean, it's easy to say, oh, YouTube should just ban PewDiePie, right? But when you look...
and that's what I'm saying, is that it's really complicated because we've never been here before.
Like, how much money does YouTube make off of PewDiePie?
And is it worth it for them to just turn the other cheek?
And
do they have any reason to say anything?
That's the question, right? Because we can't even fucking agree. I was talking about how the younger people seem less and less, in my opinion, to really care about that word, and they'll just use it casually left and right because they hear everything else tossed around so much, like it's just a fucking word, who cares? Even amongst our age, we can't have a fucking conversation about if you can say it or not. You have some say that only black people can say it. You have some black people say it's fine for anyone to say it, and you have other people who are saying no one should ever say it regardless of your skin color. We can't even fucking agree on that. Our generation. So, as the years are going on, this word is losing some of its power, and what I think you're seeing here is a clash between people our age, not to make us sound like we're old and ancient, and the next upcoming generation. But since the people our age tend to be very socially minded, you know, how everyone's a Nazi if you disagree with them, and how if you don't match in lockstep, especially when it comes to the mainstream gaming press, quote unquote, and I fucking hate that term. But we know you know who I'm talking about, right? I don't like using the term social justice warrior because I think it's kind of reductive, but it's that class of people.
All right.
So you have this disconnect between people who think that saying the N-word is the most horrible thing you can do, and then this other generation who are looking at the people in media today and go and laughing, motherfucker, it's just a word. We say it because it pisses you off. And I think there's a disconnect between these two sides. Now, I am not going to say it, one, because of the possible repercussions that come from it, which I think is kind of fucked up, but it is. But two, I just don't think it has a place. I get pissed off and say something out in anger. I'm not going to go, oh, you fucking N-word here or anything like that, which is why I don't like the fact that a lot of PewDiePie supporters say, oh, we said it out of anger. It's like, no, if I say something out of anger, it's going to be a go-to word I use all the time.
I don't jump to that. The fact that he jumped to it means that he uses it daily.
Yeah. In my opinion, I'm to his head. Yeah, in my opinion, I'm of the same.
You don't like accidentally just throw that shit out for no reason, unless it's something that's in your like regular lexicon. You say that.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's what I think too. I think he said it out of anger because he says it all the time. The discussion we're having here is is it racist? And I would say a lot of people in our generation still hold out and say, yes, it is, and older. Whereas people in the younger, early 20 and below, who are his target audience, would hear that and go, no, it's not racist, it's just a word. And I think there's a major, major culture clash here. Because I think that the people in our generation have overplayed their hand calling everything racist. People just kind of went, okay, fine, fuck it, everything's racist, we don't care anymore. I know it's getting really meta, like, into culture of America and everything. It's supposed to be just a fucking game talk show. But I honestly think that's what's happening here, is that we're seeing this weird divide happen, and I think it's generational.
I'm going to go back to this dude's still a huge dick. And I
No,
don't know
no question there. The guy is a fucking asshole.
But whatever.
But no matter what you think about his use of the word, this is not going to be the end of his career. PewDiePie had 53 million subs during the Wall Street Journal Nazi thing back in February. And today, right now, he has 57 million. That means after a major media outlet called him a Nazi and didn't even like really dress it up, they flat out called him a Nazi, he gained 4 million subscribers.
Well, you have to keep in mind, though, and this is something that I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting into the weeds here or not, but it's kind of just the culture of America right now. And the funny thing is that this dude's not even American. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, that's something else we need to take in mind, too, because a lot of people who are outraged are Americans, but the dude's fucking Norwegian or Swedish or something. Forgive me, I don't know his nationality, but he ain't American. He's European something.
But we're kind of hitting like a saturation point where, as you said, there's the social justice warriors, or whatever you want to call them. I'll just say a group of people on the internet that can be very easily persuaded to be upset. I'll leave it at that. That jump on these bandwagons and yell at people for being racist or Nazis or all these other words that mean pretty bad things, to be fair. And if you just start throwing everybody under this same bus, no matter how minor their violation, then at some point they'll get fed up. It goes back to what I'll just say, like, the presidency and the fact that, like, Donald Trump was elected and a bunch of people said that anybody that voted for him was a fucking racist and a woman hater and all this other, like, terrible shit. And I'm not going to talk about him or, like, his policies or any of that shit. I'm just going to talk about the fact that you had this entire group of people on the internet were saying all these hateful things to anybody that was leaning slightly in that direction. But you also have a huge fucking chunk of America that also just happen to be right wing. Maybe they're religious, maybe they just have different beliefs, maybe they believe in businesses, whatever the fucking reason. And you have all these people yelling at them and calling them these horrible things because of the way they've thought for the last 20, 30 years of their life. And they're not going to react to it by saying, oh, that makes sense, let me just switch sides. They're going to say, fuck you. They're going to double down. They're going to get all their friends to double down. And guess what? Your party's going to lose.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. You had the...
There wasn't actually a campaign. On both sides, it was just all hate.
Yeah. You had Hillary Clinton on one side.
That's why I'm saying this is like a saturation point. Everybody treats everything as just you're a racist, you're a Nazi, you're the worst fucking person in the history of people. And at some point, it's got to break.
Yeah, well, it's the boy quiet wolf, right? So when we actually have some serious shit we need to talk about, no one cares because the terms have been overused.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, when someone actually is a fucking raging racist, when someone walks around chanting "Hail Victory" in fucking Charlottesville, that is a fucking Nazi.
Yeah, there's legitimate Nazis walking around. And
but
it's like less of a deal than someone who says something on the fucking internet somehow.
Yeah, but when you cry wolf like that, people just start tuning you out. So I think we're both kind of in agreement. Do we know if PewDiePie is a racist or not? Saying the word is kind of like a red flag, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's fucking racist. It means he's part of this younger generation that looks at that word and goes, it's just a fucking word, deal with it.
I'm still going with he's just an asshole.
But yeah, we can both agree he's an asshole, but guess what? You ain't ending his career. What you are going to do, however, Mr. Sean Vanman of Campo Santo, is fuck over everything else in your attempt to get a pound of flesh, because this is what I think is the real story behind all this.
Ooh. Oh yeah, let's get into this.
I think we were all in agreement for once. We can look at PewDiePie and go, that guy's a fucking asshole. Don't watch them. Don't link to them. But of course, that doesn't quite convey the message to everyone else about how good of a person you are, so you have to ramp it up. And then enter Sean Vanman, member of Campo Santo, who sends out this tweet storm saying, quote, "We're filing a DMCA takedown of PewDiePie's Firewatch content in any future Campo Santo games. There's a bit of leeway you have to have with the internet when you wake up every day and make video games, but there's also a breaking point. I am sick of this child getting more chances to make money off what we make. He's worse than a closet racist. He's a propagator of despicable garbage that does real damage to the culture around this industry." Okay, Sean. I'd urge other developers and will be reaching out to folks much larger than us to cut him off from the content that made him a millionaire. Furthermore, we're complicit. I'm sure we've made money off the 5.7 million views that this video has, and that's something for us to think about. Lastly, I love streamers and watch them daily, and we sent out over 3,000 keys to professional and animal streamers of Firewatch. Sean, you are talking about using the fucking DMCA as a cudgel to take down a channel of someone who said something that you fucking disagree with. I'll admit, it is a horrible fucking word. I don't even want to say it on the air, and I'm not going to. Cool. Don't watch them. Don't fucking link to them. But what you're doing...
Don't send him keys.
Don't send him keys anymore. But guess what, man? He could still buy your fucking game. And this is fucking counter to what you said right here in this fact. Let me go ahead and go to the Overwatch, the facts on Firewatch. Right here. Come down, come down, come down, come in. Can I stream this game? Can I make money off those streams? Yes, we love that people stream and share their experience with the game. You are free to monetize your video as well. That's a fucking carte blanche permission. So, sorry, Sean. You might... We'll talk about the legality of this, but I won't talk about the moral part of it either. You can't go off and fucking put that in your facts and then go, up, unless you say something that we disagree with, in which case, then we're going to take that away. And yeah, once again... a horrible fucking word. I am not denying that. The man fucked up. PewDiePie fucked up on his stream, and I'm not going to let him go, oh, it was a heated gaming moment, or, oh, I didn't mean to, I'm an asshole, blah, blah, blah. No, fuck that. PewDiePie is an asshole. But Sean Vanman, you can't fucking wield the DMCA like a goddamn Warhammer and try to smash out all the bad opinions that you hate, because what this is going to end up doing is set a horrible fucking precedent and change the idea of Let's Plays as we know it.
That's the big scary thing, is that this could potentially, if he gets his way, pave the way for companies to remove Let's Plays as a feature of the internet.
Yeah. This is a
like, that could just no longer be a thing. Hey, you know what? You like watching your favorite people play games online? Well, fuck you. If this goes through, that's no longer going to be a thing, because any company at any point could take any product that they made and just pull it off the internet because they disagree with the person that's playing it.
This is a fucking nightmare situation.
And where's the line? Could they just pick it because they don't like that person?
That's it. We don't know.
Because that person doesn't have enough viewers? Because of fucking what? Anything?
Let's Plays have been a legal gray area where both the developers and Let's Players kind of have this understanding, a wink and nod that, hey, you legally probably can't do this. We don't know, but we make money off the marketing on it. Nudge, nudge, nudge. Let's just kind of keep the status quo here. And all it takes is...
Nintendo.
Yeah, all it takes is one fucking judge to change all that, especially if that judge is, like, way behind the times and not aware of how the internet works anymore.
They can't display your property. Well, this whole thing is illegal. Boom. Gavel.
And there are so many
Twitch
other
goes
ways.
out of business.
Yeah, there are so many other ways to go about dealing with this rather than fucking trying to... Let's face it, Mr. Vanaman here is trying to shut down his channel because he didn't like what PewDiePie had to say. At the end of the day. Yes, what he said was fucking reprehensible. But you are trying to shut down a man's channel because you didn't like what he has to say. And that sets such a fucking terrifying precedent. And no one knows what's going on here. For people who are trying to say the Romine Jim Sterling case is an example of that, or the H3H3 case that recently happened, neither one of these two are applicable here for a multitude of reasons if you want to go to another more legal-based channel to figure this out. And the people who are saying, oh, this is DMCA abuse and there's no way it can stand, well... we don't know because it's never actually gone to court. Actual lawyers have been weighing in on this. You have two on both sides right now. The self-styled video game attorney Ryan Morrison and Leonard French, copyright attorney, copyright attorney that we talked about during the Alex Maurer case, they both know their shit. Both of them don't agree on this. They both make really comparing fucking cases for and against it, which is why we don't want this to go to court, which is why, Sean Venerman, you can't be fucking escalating this. I know you need your pound of flesh. I know you need everyone to know how good of a boy you are and that you fucking condemn racism and white supremacy is horrible. No fucking shit racism is bad. No fucking shit white supremacy is horrible. But you are possibly fucking this up for everyone else.
It's very scary. They're like so quick to jump on this that I feel like he just didn't think of any of the repercussions that come of it. I get that he wants to protect what he built and what his team made, and they don't want his product to be associated with this guy. I understand that, but
welcome to the internet, man. Sorry,
this isn't really the right way to do it.
Regardless if Campo Santo can legally do this, we need to talk about whether they should do it, because this, much like how I said earlier with PewDiePie being the face of YouTube and the shit that he does doesn't exist in a vacuum, like the shit he does reflects upon everything else, the shit that Campo Santo is doing reflects on everyone else here in this case as well. And it's such a bad fucking look for Campo Santo, because they're essentially openly stating that, hey, if we don't like what you have said, we will DMCA your videos. We will put a strike against your channel. And that's not worth the fucking risk. Like, if I stream anything, I will never, ever stream another Campo Santo game again. Not because I don't think they should be fighting racism, or not because I'm a white supremacist or something like that, but I can't take the fucking risk that one day I might say something that offends Mr. if I can forgot his name, Vanaman, and he strikes my channel because I said something that he didn't like on a game that's not even fucking Firewatch.
Yep. If it was during his game, that'd be one thing. But
yeah, I would give him a little bit more credence if it was his game.
The better treat would be, man, this kid really fucked up. I disagree with him. I'm no longer going to be watching his channel, and I encourage our followers to do the same.
The message being sent here is that the moment you say or do anything that I don't like, I will do everything I can to destroy your channel. Fuck off. Once again, I'm not saying you have to sit there and take it. What I am saying is that the fucking internet is going to do stuff that you don't like. You can't put that back in that genie in the bottle. You can't remove it completely from the internet. And you can't try to use the DMCA like a fucking hammer to nail out anything that you don't like out of existence.
Well, and here's the other scary thing, is that, yes, this is happening and he started it, but how many companies are now thinking, wait a minute, we can start throwing strikes up against people we disagree with to play our games?
That's why this fucking copyright strike is so fucking terrifying. Because let's say, or this lawsuit, if it actually ever gets going, if like a lawsuit happens, it's so terrifying. Because let's say a judge goes, you're right, Let's Plays does not fall under fair use, and creators can sue people who are making Let's Plays. One, that shuts down almost all streaming. Twitch is gone.
Yeah, instantly, Twitch is gone.
Any person playing a game showing off all the bugs, like let's say Mass Effect Andromeda is going around and someone's doing a 1-hour Let's Play showing off all the bugs to a Mass Effect Andromeda, EA gets to walk and go, nope, done.
Yeah, well, I was going to say not just bugs, but anyone that says something bad about any portion of a video game, their video can be pulled. It's like, oh man, this enemy kind of sucks, or I don't like this level design.
Well, that's where the Sterling Romine and the HEH3 production cases say that's fine. Critique is fine. We're not talking necessary critique here. We're talking Let's Plays, like long form.
Well,
I'm
no,
playing this game in front of lots of other people.
Well, see, I'm not talking about like critique videos in particular. I'm talking about people actively playing a game in a Let's Play, and just while they're playing, commenting on parts they dislike. Or like, well, this was a bad decision. This is a poorly designed area. Man, look at all these bugs. Look at all these things that I don't like. Or maybe you shouldn't play this game.
Let's take it out of that. Let's say I'm on stream and I'm streaming Destiny 2. And I'm interacting with my chat. Let's Plays and Twitch streams last hours at a time. And around hour 2.5, I go, yeah, you know what? I think that repealing DACA, the Dreamer thing, I think that's fine. I think that we should send people back to Mexico. Let's say I say that. Does Activision have a right then to strike my YouTube channel that carries all these Let's Plays because I said a politically insensitive topic?
If this goes through, then fuck yeah, they can.
Do you see the fucking nightmare you are creating here, Campo Santo? Do you see how this can spiral out of control? The DMCA is extremely outdated, and Vanaman is smart enough to know this. But I personally think, and this is conjecture, I think he doesn't care. Because I think he gets a smug sense of satisfaction at fighting the racist. And yes, I get that you can fight the racist. I get that they're horrible people. I get that white supremacy is terrible. I get that fucking Nazis are horrible. But I think in his effort to slay the monsters, he has become one himself. He knows it, and he's proud of it. And that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of a nerve-wracking next couple of weeks as we wait to see what happens with this.
It feels like a clumsy attempt to take a stand hoping to get seen. Right? There was this philosopher, I want to say his name was Rousseau, who talked about the bourgeoisie class. I'm probably mispronouncing that word wrong. The bourgeoisie. These are the elites, the ones who determine what you will like and what you will watch and what you will talk about. And they have this need to be seen. That's what this is. He is talking about Mr. Vanaman right here. He needs to be seen. He needs to be seen doing good, regardless of what that good might actually end up destroying. That's my personal opinion on this. Especially when there are so many other ways you can handle this situation.
I'm going to go with one's an asshole and the other's an idiot.
I think they're both assholes. That's my personal take. Anyways, as of right now, PewDiePie's Firewatch video has been pulled. We don't know if it was because of a DMCA takedown strike or because PewDiePie removed the video just to be safe, or if they actually had communication and came to a mutual agreement, though given
I don't
the
think
fact
he's responded at all to any of this.
No,
right?
he's gone underground. He is going to try to see if this blows over, and honestly, I think it might already be blowing over. Because once back to what we were saying earlier, you can only scream racist so many times that when something that we actually need to discuss about that actually might be racist comes along, people just tune out.
Yep. The score thing, that's the spooky part.
Yeah. Well, here's the even more fucked
really
up
hoping
thing.
that he just pulled the video and they just drop it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. But another thing,
like, I think the best case scenario.
Let's say they struck him, PewDiePie might take them to court. He might go, hey, this is a fucking violation of DMC. They're making a false DMCA. They're making a false DMCA claim. I'm taking the Campo Santo to court for damages. Because that can happen too. Filing a false DMCA claim, as we learned with the Alex Maurer case, is a no-no. You can fucking get sued for that. So there are so many ways this powder keg can explode. I will say this. I absolutely agree with Jim Sterling when he said yesterday that PewDiePie at this point is a fucking liability. Because he is. Right? Do you agree with that if PewDiePie is a fucking liability right now?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I understand that he's extremely popular. I understand that people like him because he is edgy. But that said, how many times is this motherfucker's name going to be in the news before we have to say, he does not fucking speak for all of us, stop using him as the example for YouTube? And he's easy to pick on because YouTube
At any point is YouTube going to step in and say, look, this guy is popular because you guys keep watching him. He's in no way affiliated with us. The fact that he keeps showing up on the feeds is due to the fact that millions of people watch this guy.
And let's not also discount the fact that a lot of the traditional media, games media, and even press media, like news media, like the Wall Street Journal, have a vested interest in taking YouTube down. Yeah. YouTube is eating their lunch. Everyone is turning to video, and YouTube is one of the biggest sources for news and information right now, regardless if you think that's a good thing or not. People are flocking to YouTube for game reviews, and all of these games journalists who are cranking out articles about how PewDiePie is racist and everything like that. It's their lunch. that's being taken by him. He is taking away money out of their pocket. So they have a vested interest in destroying him.
You're saying this, and it's making me think something about like just how famous this kid really is. I'll need to check the numbers, but it's entirely possible. Actually, I'm fairly certain that this kid is probably worth more than Campo Santos.
Yes.
As a company.
Oh, I'm willing to bet that he is.
If they go in and try and sue him, he could probably just hire, an army of better lawyers and countersue that company into fucking oblivion.
Yeah. Once again,
if he wanted to. I doubt he would. But
it could be small potatoes to him. Whatever money that
Maybe
Overwatch
destroy each other, that would be great.
Yeah. Whatever money the Overwatch video made, or the Firewatch video made for him, that's done. He probably gets pennies now for that video. So in his mind, he's like, I'll just take it down and not lose any more money.
Well, also keep in mind that he made like $19 million 2 years ago, last year, $18 million the year before, $12 million the year before.
He made a lot.
And Firewatch sold 1 million copies, and it's an independent studio, and that's the only game they've made.
So, to sum up, PewDiePie is a fucking asshole. Is he racist? Yes. I don't fucking know. Does he use the N-word a lot in his casual speech? Clearly, yes, in my opinion.
For sure he does.
Does that mean he's racist? Some of you are going to say yes. Some of you are going to say depends. And some of you are going to say I don't fucking know or I don't care. Is Campo Santo fucking up? Emphatically, yes.
Well,
you're angry.
Not necessarily Campo Santo, but the fucking president of him, for sure.
I don't know if he's the president or co-president or what exactly his standing is there, but he's high enough to make a decision like this, it seems.
Because he didn't tweet from the Campo Santo, like, Twitter, like their official Twitter. He tweeted on his personal one. He's the co-founder of the company.
I'm also kind of annoyed that people aren't calling, like in the traditional games media, aren't calling this move out either. Because I think they feel like by saying Campo Santo's fucking up, they're somehow legitimizing what PewDiePie said. And it's like, no, you can fucking say both sides are fucked up. And yes, I know I'm saying, oh, but both sides are bad kind of thing. In some cases, both sides are fucking bad. If I had to choose between Nazis and communists, no, fuck off. I'll take the bullet. If I have to choose between PewDiePie saying racist is okay or Campo Santo fucking using the DMCA like a goddamn sword instead of the shield it's supposed to be, I'm going to look at both of you and say, no, you're both fucking wrong. You're both pieces of shit and I can prove it mathematically.
Do you get it now? Do you see where you're sitting, our universe?
Is everyone all right with their position in my world?
Oh, man. This is just a shit show.
With any luck, this will just get dropped.
That'd be fantastic. I would love every minute of it.
But the fact that people aren't calling out Campo Santo for this bullshit either, at least at the people that I want to call out for it, like your Kotakus and your Polygons and everything like that, really fucking bothers me.
Well, the trouble is that they can't, because, and I'm willing to bet it could even happen with our video right now, but people that are calling anything against Campo Santo could be labeled as automatically being on PewDiePie's sides, and that makes you a racist Hitler Nazi.
Yeah, fuck that. Let me emphatically say PewDiePie fucked up. I'm not defending what he fucking said, in case that wasn't clear enough over the past 40 minutes we've been talking about this.
Also, I have mentioned it several times, but I will mention again that I think he's a huge asshole. So there's that. I don't watch his videos. I think he's pretty much just a piece of shit.
Stop trying to force me to pick one side or another
famous.
When both sides are fucking stupid. I'm not even going to say equally stupid. In this particular case, I think Campo Santo is far more stupid because what they're doing potentially can ruin a lot more shit than fucking PewDiePie saying a no-no word. But anyways.
He's just a bad influence on kids, and who gives a fuck about kids?
I mean, that's... You make a good point there, right? Back to what we said earlier. PewDiePie, regardless if he fucking wants to say so or not, is a role model. So he has some fucking responsibility to watch what he says.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah,
We'll give you updates as it develops. Hopefully there are none.
Hopefully there is nothing. Hopefully this just fucking goes away. Kotaku, Polygon, etc. hate PewDiePie, and PewDiePie fucking hates everyone else, and we just keep that status quo. I'm fine with the idea of mutually assured destruction on this. Yeah, and he gains another 4 million followers because you're not fucking stopping him by crying and stomping your feet and filing a, in my opinion, false DMCA
But
strike.
if you disagree with him, I highly recommend you stop sending him fucking game keys.
Yeah. I mean, he could just fucking go out and buy a copy of it and still go on it. But anyways. Phoenix 100K says in chat, no sentence has ever made me more sad than, quote, PewDiePie as a role model. I hear you, brother, but that's just how it is. Let's just be honest here. Anyways. That was possibly the worst thing that happened over the past week, but it wasn't the only bad thing that's happened over this week. David, why don't you go ahead and talk about this news story?
We talked about this story, I think, quite a while ago, but now we have a little bit of a resolution, right? It's finally done. The CSGO Lotto owners settle FTC's first ever complaint against individual social media influencers. So, quite a while ago, we talked about Trevor T. Martin, and Thomas Syndicate Castle, who are two social media guys who were really followed in the online gaming community, and they would play a lot of CSGO and various games, and they were the guys that had links in their YouTube channels for the CSGO Lotto.
Essentially, they would do these movies going like, look at all this shit that I can win on this website, this cool website that I know nothing about called CSGO Lotto. I spent $5 and I got 10,000.
Yeah, it turns out they both fucking owned it.
Yeah.
And it was literally a giant gambling scam where they took money from kids.
Yeah.
Because guess what? CSGO Lotto isn't counted as gambling, so kids can do it. So that's cool. Kids aren't impressionable. They don't follow really stupid people into the future.
And this isn't just tied to them. Phoenix 1000K in a chat is also mentioning, hey, it's the same thing that Phantom Lord did with the CSGO Shuffle. Yeah, this fucking online skin gambling thing is atrocious, and it's all marketed at kids.
Great job, Valve. Thanks for really keeping hold of that. Fucking dickbags. Well, luckily we have the FTC to really step in and just hammer these dudes right in the face, right, to make sure that they don't keep up this kind of shit. You know, these are the same guys that allegedly paid well-known other YouTubers and influencers thousands of dollars to promote their site on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever else. Didn't require them to disclose the payments and social media points. They would just put it on the bottom, not mention the fact that they got paid to endorse it or anything like that. And lucky for us, the settlement between these two and the FTC says that they have to disclose everything they have financial ties to on their videos. And that's it. That is the entirety of the FTC ruling. Even though they swindled fuck tons of kids out of a bunch of money, they lied about a site they own so that they could get people to falsely gamble and lose a bunch of money. They paid other people to advertise their site so they can continue to make money. Their punishment is if they make a video and they have an endorsement on there that they get money from, they have to mention it.
Literally what they should have been doing to begin with. No fines,
no jail time, no penalty, no anything. Congratulations, you got away with it for a while. You don't get to get away with it anymore.
The FTC is fucking looses. I hate the FTC to begin with. I fucking loathe them for reasons I don't want to get into right now.
This is your only fucking job, guys. We count on you for, well, I mean, almost nothing, but we at least thought you could sort this shit out.
So, yay, congratulations. The message sent was you can fucking defraud children and get away with it.
Yep. Congratulations, these guys, for not losing any money. Proud of you. Stop making stupid people famous. God damn it.
Now, for the next story, this is something that normally would have been the fucking lead story, but all this shit happened this week, and it's just a horrible, terrible fucking ordeal. This one right here seems minor and almost pissant in comparison. But let's talk about the fact that something that was free in Destiny 2 is now essentially been turned into microtransactions. This article via Forbes here, consumable shaders in Destiny 2 don't make any amount of sense. Long story short, Destiny 2 has drastically altered the series shader system, making the items you get to color your armor one-time use consumables that you get in stacks. This, the way Destiny used to work was very similar to Guild Wars 2 with their die drops. You get a die drop, you consume it, and you have it in your library that can be applied to anything. Well, it's now changed. You get the drop, you take that consumable, you apply it to one piece of armor, and that armor is now colored. You want your armor to match?
I'm sorry.
Find more
Point
colors.
out that could be armor, weapons, ships, or sparrows.
Yeah, it's more than just armor now. They've increased how many things you can customize. Many fans,
to customize them.
Yeah, going on from the article. Many fans believe that this new shader system is a plot to sell more bright engrams. What a bright engram is essentially a drop that you open up in a loot box style, because everything is loot box style these days, and you get a bunch of things in it, including shaders. You can find them every time you hit a level after hitting the cap 20, or you can buy them using Destiny 2's bullshit cryptocurrency that can be purchased for real-world money. Yay, microtransactions for shit that was normally free. These bright engrams drop a lot of...
They created a whole new system so that they could get extra money out of a feature from the old game.
Right.
In addition, even
horrible.
if you spend the money, it's more arduous and shittier than the old version.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, man, I really want to make my gun purple and my armor orange, you then have to spend the money for the armor shader, and I think it's like individual pieces of the armor, right? It's not even just like, here's one piece of my... No, it's like, here's my arms now orange, and my chest is now orange, and my legs are now orange, and then I paint my gun purple, and I'm finally done, and that only cost me like $45.
Every
nice.
Bit of your gear requires an individual shader to change its color. Phoenix 1000K, one thing from the chat. It's one thing that they cost Glimmer to replicate at the kiosk, but having them cost actual money is a bit, well, shit. I absolutely agree. You fucking took something that was quote-unquote free in the previous game and added the lovely feature of microtransactions and gambling. Let's not forget the loot box style, to where it's like, hey, you have the mystery box. What's in the mystery box? It could be anything. It could even be a boat.
Well, the fun thing is the mystery boxes contain a shit ton of things that aren't shaders. And the shaders will probably be the most useless thing to drop, because there's armor, gun mods, ships, sparrows, and shaders. But, you know, in your loot box that drops, you'll probably get one, maybe two shaders of colors that don't match, that again you can use once to customize one piece of armor.
And let's stress
from
this.
a thing that used to be just a free feature in the game.
One-time use only. You use it, you lose it. This is like the fucking Shadow of War bullshit that Mortar did. You can buy an orc that can get killed.
The marketplace is going to pop up for people reselling shaders, because you know that's going to fucking happen.
I don't know if they can be transferred from account to account. That's the only thing that's preventing that from happening. However,
can you trade in that game?
I don't know.
You can trade. People will figure it out. You'll get shader farmers. Come on, China.
Now, creative director Luke Smith on Destiny sent this wrong link. Sent this tweet out here. Shaders are earned through gameplay, leveling chests, engrams, vendors. We expect you'll be flush with shaders as you continue to play. When you reach level 20, shaders are dropped more often, vendor rewards, destination play, and endgame activities. Shaders are now an ongoing reward for playing. Customization will inspire gameplay. Each planet has unique armor and shader rewards. With Destiny 2, we want statements like, quote, I want to run the raid trials or go back to Titan to get more of its shaders to be possible. No. I don't care if they drop more at level 20. You fucking added microtransactions to a system that was fucking free in Destiny 1. You wrapped it up in the goddamn loot box, which is designed to prey on fucking gambling. Once again, let's be honest here. You are paying real-world currency to buy fake cryptocurrency, to buy these fucking bright engrams, which is like essentially putting in the token you get at the casino into the slot machine. You are pulling the fucking lever to get a who knows what result, and if it's not something you're happy with, well, all it is another $1.40 to get another stack of bright engrams there, Johnny. Why don't you take your parents' credit card out of your purse? Fuck off.
Well, hey, at least Destiny's free to play, right?
No, it's a no.
Oh wait, it's $60. Get fucked. Oh, great. That's fantastic.
It's fucking infuriating because everything I'm hearing about Destiny 2 makes me want to play it. It sounds like it's an improvement on everything on the first one. But then you fucking had to put this bullshit in because paying $60 weren't enough. Oh, no. We had to put in a bullshit gambling. And I know it's not legally gambling, but you're fucking gambling. This shit has a real-world value to it. You are spending money to potentially get something worth more money than you spent in there.
I mean, to be fair, this is a whole thing that's put onto BattleNet, and name anything else on BattleNet that doesn't have loot boxes or a way for them to get more of your money.
Even Diablo 3 has it. The loot box in Diablo 3 would be the legendary
They're
weapon
like
drop.
the fucking pioneers of this shit. Not actually, but they did perfect it.
Yeah. The legendary weapon drop in Diablo 3 is essentially a loot box. It is an unknown item that you have an idea of what it could be, but until you go back and have it identified, you don't know exactly what it is. Now, admittedly, that one is free, but remember, Diablo 3 started with a real-world currency auction house. Loot boxes.
I guess the cliff notes is that Activision Blizzard is not our savior. If you recall, Activision is that company that we were mad at until recently, when other companies like Ubisoft and WB got way the fuck worse. It's not that the other companies are getting better, but it's weird that we're in a time that EA is actually a decent company and their practices haven't fucking changed at all in the last 10 years.
Well, it's the fucking Chris Rock bit. EA gets to be the person going around saying, I take care of my kid, I'm a good mother. It's like, motherfucker, you're supposed to take care of your kid. And even then, I would hardly say EA is taking care of their kid here. It's just they seem to be keeping their head down a little bit more. We'll see how...
That's all I'm saying, is that the EA I don't think is any better than they were 10 years ago. But they're out of the limelight because look at what this fucking other people are doing.
We'll see how Star Wars Battlefront 2 handles this kind of shit in there, because you can fucking bet your bottom dollar that this is going to have that shit in there.
The fact that full price games have all this fucking microtransaction bullshit stuffed into them now is just so infuriating.
One more thing before we move on to chat. Phoenix 100K rather in chat says this: if you're going to have people spend real world money on cosmetic items, don't make them consumable. I couldn't fucking agree with you more. If you're going to do this, don't make it consumable at the very least. Fuck! What more can I say about it? David, why don't you go ahead and take us home with the last news story we have here, and then we can move on to new releases and end this fucking show.
So what's funny is that this is not positive either, but I'm gonna spin it a little bit. So in a recent interview with Variety magazine, Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé mentioned in a kind of offhand comment that they can't really meet the Nintendo Switch holiday demand. The company believes they would push the console to 10 million units sold by the end of the year. When he was speaking at Variety's Entertainment and Technology Summit in LA on September 7th, he said, quote, certainly demand is there and our supply chain is there to hit the 10 million goal. But he didn't want to commit to fulfilling demand for the holiday season. Quote, are we going to have enough for the holiday? That's what we're focused on. So they're not. There's not going to... The Switch is going to continue to be hard as fuck to find. I mean, it's September. The Switch came out when? Huh? That's
March,
right. I
February?
still fucking can't buy one. At least not for actual MSRP. I can buy one for $400 and $500 or in a bundle with a bunch of shit I don't want, but there's no fucking chance I can find one for actual retail price unless I bend over backwards to do it. The Super Nintendo Classic is going to be gone forever, and no one's going to buy that shit for less than $500 unless you either have a bot or you like to stay up until 2 in the morning with 8,000 messages going off on your phone, which some people can't do. Or you have really awesome friends that somehow get you one. But
go on.
It's a thing. But the big thing I wanted to mention about this, as much as it sucks, and as much as we all fucking saw it coming, even if they could meet the demand, I doubt they would, because why the fuck would they? It keeps them in the news.
This is one of those cases where I don't think... Go ahead, finish your thought. Sorry, I thought you were done.
For me, this is a big deal because this is the most they've actually bothered to mention the fact that they're not going to meet demand. This is them actually admitting something for the first time fucking ever. Instead of just saying, oh, we'll have enough, or oh, we're really pushing it. He's just like, yeah, we might not make it.
Which should tell you something about how hard it's going to be to find one this holiday season.
And that's the real takeaway for me, is that as shitty as this is, it's kind of an uplifting article in the fact that he wasn't just like, oh yeah, there'll definitely be enough, and then we all get pissed in 3 months when they're fucking impossible to sign. He's full on giving us signs like, yeah, this might be a big pain in the dick for you to buy one. Like, thanks, Reggie. I mean, I knew that already, but it's nice to hear you say it. It's
kind of easy to bash on Nintendo for supply issues here, but on this case, I don't think I necessarily hold this one against them. The Switch has been super popular, way more popular than I think either you or I or a lot of people expected it to be. supply issues they haven't had a Christmas yet, so this is going to be at the top of a lot of people's lists. So I'm a little bit more forgiving on this. This isn't like, say, a flash drive with a handful of Super Nintendo games in that they could just be mass producing left and right. A little bit more complex than that. So yeah, it sucks that the Switches are going to be extremely limited stock likely over Christmas, but I just don't hold as much malice to them being short on Switches as I do for Super Nintendo Classic.
It's poor planning.
I can buy the excuse why there aren't enough Switches in the wild, because that shit's hard to make. The Super Nintendo Classic is a fucking flash drive in a plastic shell.
Yeah, that one's pretty much bullshit. At least with the Switch, they have the fact that they're competing with Apple for Foxconn parts and workers.
I missed all of that. One more time, I'm sorry.
Oh, with the Switch, at least they're competing with Apple to
use
Foxconn.
That's right. We were talking about that. The parts that go into the Switch are the same parts that go into iPhones. So there's like a bidding war between making them.
One chip or something like that is the same. So there's an actual supply issue on the manufacturing line. Of course, that doesn't stop Apple from making 800 billion iPhones. So,
hey, all I'm saying is that there's a great bit of technology out there called the Raspberry Pi. Look into it.
That's true. All right,
David.
Enough of all this shit.
All that shit's coming out in Christmas.
That just make me angry, and then I can't play.
That shit's all Christmas stuff. We're not going to be able to find anything then anyways. Everything's going to fucking sell. It's going to be horrible. But Christmas is a couple months away. If I want to play something right now, what can I play?
Well, I'm going to start with a game that you technically can play this week, but I don't fucking want you to, and I'm going to explain why. This week, Pro Evolution Soccer 2018 comes out on PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. This is the 17th installment of the Pro Evolution Soccer series, made by Konami, and it's going to sell like fucking gangbusters because it's probably the world's biggest soccer game, or
people
football,
love soccer,
or the fuck you want to say. The reason I don't want you to buy this game, and the reason I don't want you to look at it, is because it is the last remaining use of the fucking Fox engine. Fuck you, Konami, you stupid motherfuckers.
Hey.
God damn, that technology is too good for you.
PES uses the Fox engine?
Yes, Pro Evolution Soccer uses the Fox engine. That fucking amazing engine that Hideo Kojima made for the Metal Gear Solid franchise is fucking used by Pro Evolution Soccer.
I hate Konami. I hate it so much.
Fuck Konami. I haven't said it in a while on this show, so I needed to bring it back. Also coming out this week, NASCAR Heat 2 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. A sequel to a game called NASCAR Heat that I never fucking heard of. Developed by Monster Games, published by 704 Games. More people that I don't really know that much about. It's a NASCAR game. You can play in the various different series. Back in the day, I knew them as like the Marlboro series and like the Busch Beer series and like all that shit. Now they all have ridiculous names. There's the Xfinity series. There's the there's like the Comcast cable series. There's the American Super Truck series. Like I don't even know. Just the branding for NASCAR because
the Google circuit.
They're all just driving billboards. There's a Monster Energy Cup. That's a thing.
No joke. If I ever open up a retail store, I want my employees to look like those NASCAR drivers, just covered from head to toe in branding.
It'll be like Bling from that one movie, Office Space, but instead it's all brands.
Flair.
Flair. Thank you. I can't know fuck dog. There's 107 total playable drivers across the 3 different versions of NASCAR, though. So I guess if you're super into NASCAR and you want to turn left a bunch in your video games, you can do that. Go for it. Also coming out this week, much more important for me, is Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, for PS4, PC, and Vita, although the PC version was delayed at the last minute. Get wrecked.
Like, literally delayed at the last minute. They just put an announcement for that today.
Yes, this is the Ys game that came out in Japan on the Vita, I think, a year ago, and it came out on PS4 in, like, March of this year, but we're finally getting it in the States. This is a legitimate, bona fide new Ys game that we haven't played in English yet. Hell yes. If you've never looked at Ys before, it's an action RPG. The series goes all the way back to the fucking old-school Nintendo days. You play as a dude who is on a ship that crashes on a mysterious island filled with spooky, crazy shit. And I don't really need to get into it. It is a classic style RPG. Again, action, Super Nintendo roots. Looks super good. I'm excited for it. Also coming out this week, Dream Break on PS4 and Xbox One. This game's actually been out on Steam for a bit. It's a adventure point-and-click style game set in an alternative post-Cold War USSR. So it's interesting looking in that it has a bunch of different game styles thrown in together. If you look at the trailer, it's got like kind of side-scroller elements. It's got weird pseudo-shooter elements. It's got point-and-click adventure element. It looks strange. I'm take a look at the trailer to see if you want it. I don't think it's for me though.
I'll take a look at that. I like alternate history stuff.
Also coming out this week, the Rayman Legends Definitive Edition for Switch. This is the best version of Rayman Legends, which, I mean, Rayman Legends came out what, 6 years ago?
Long time ago.
7 years ago.
Ubisoft has milked the hell out of this particular game.
But most importantly, this is a Rayman game without Rabbids, so feel free to pick it up. This also has wireless local multiplayer. I believe it also has like a co-op couch play mode. It's got a tournament mode. You can use the touchscreen to fight enemies. It's Rayman built for the Switch, but it's a technically re-release of an older game. The big one for me this week, coming out not today, not tomorrow, but actually on Thursday, is finally it's here after a year in early access, Divinity Original Sin 2. Fuck, comma, yes. This is a isometric style computer RPG. Think the old, what's that fucking engine that like Baldur's Gate?
The Infinity Engine, Aurora Engine.
Yes, an Infinity Engine styled RPG filled with awesome dialogue, a ton of story. It's probably gonna take you hours and hours and hours to beat. It has 4-player co-op.
Bonus.
It also has 2-player local co-op.
Also
like
bonus. That's amazing.
Like not even split screen, like same screen co-op. Get it done.
I'm not positive on the name of that engine, by the way. So if you're watching this, don't necessarily quote me on that.
Infinity sounds really right though, so I'm gonna stick with Infinity Engine. But who knows? We could be wrong. But yeah, Divinity Original Sin 2 comes out this week. I am flipping stoked for that game, and they have all kinds of new shit. I played the early access a long time ago, so I'm excited to see where it's gone. I just remember when they first released the early access, which again was over a year ago. That little beta had more like dialogue and content in it than the entirety of the first game. So this game should be fucking huge.
Goddamn.
Also coming out this week is Baja Edge of Control HD for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. This is a remastered version of the Off-Road Racer from 2008. Because yes, we are remastering everything, including old school off-road racing games. 4-player split screen, 16-player online multiplayer, 160 different cars. There's realistic vehicle damage that you can monitor. It's a Baja game, which if you don't know of is a giant race where you basically drive your car to death. And yeah, it could be cool if you're into racing games that are 9 years old, 6 years, 7 years old, fuck, whatever, math. Also coming out this week, NBA Live 18, the new EA Tiburon, EA Sports basketball game. The biggest thing for this for me is, yes, it's a sequel. Yes, this is like the 21st NBA Live game. But more importantly, it actually comes out 4 days before 2K Sports releases NBA 2K18. And in order to compete, EA announced that all players who pre-order it get a 33% discount on it.
That's a big discount. That's on
releasing 4 days early and saying, "Hey, guess what? Our game costs 2/3 as much."
Yeah, it's $40. Come buy it. You know, that's funny because 2K when they first came out, the 2K games used to always be $40 compared to EA's being 60.
Mm-hmm. It's like a really funny little like knife in the back that I didn't find out about until today. Also coming out this week, NHL 2018 for PS4 and Xbox One. Made by EA Canada, because who else would you trust for that? It's the 27th NHL game, and it's got Connor McDavid on the cover. He probably doesn't have all of his teeth.
I don't even know who Connor McDavid is.
It's got new modes. There's an NHL 3s mode with only 3 players on each team. You can also play as the mascots. It's a hockey game. You play hockey. Get your hockey on. The other big one I think this week is Metroid: Samus Returns for 3DS. Actually comes out. This is the new-ish 2D side-scrolling Samus game, which is actually a remake of Samus 2, which was on Game Boy back in the Dizzy.
I'm super excited for this.
It looks really damn good.
If you want Nintendo to make more Metroid side-scrollers, fucking buy this game.
Yes, buy the shit out of this game.
Buy it twice.
Yoshio Sakamoto led the game's production, one of the original Metroid directors, and it's coming out everywhere.
Up. Phoenix 100K in chat mentions a game that we don't have on our list. Warriors All-Stars.
No shit, I thought that game came out last week.
Yeah, same here.
Honest to God,
Maybe it got
was
delayed.
Actually on our new releases for last week. If I missed the date or if it was delayed, that is completely my bad.
I don't know for sure, but yeah, I think we did mention it last week.
On our list last week, Warriors All-Stars. That is the Super Smash Brothers Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah, we did mention this last week. Did it come out? Hold on.
It doesn't actually at all play like a Super Smash Brothers game. I just meant it has like characters from all the various Warriors games, Samurai Warriors, Dynasty Warriors. I think there's like 19 different franchises.
He's wrong. It came out like a week and a half ago.
Boom! Suck it. Those are my notes. Well, if you want to know more about that game, you could go watch our older episodes on YouTube. And
I completely forgot we mentioned that last week, too.
I was pretty excited when I was talking about it last time. But it's actually out, so go buy it if you want to play that kind of stuff. Yeah, Koei Tecmo as fuck. If you've played any of their games, you know exactly how this game plays. Although I've heard it plays most like Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. So if you like that one, take a look. If you hated it, maybe don't. And finally coming out this week is Dishonored Death of the Outsider for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It's I believe it's a standalone adventure.
I don't know if it's standalone or not. Either way, you should play Dishonored and Dishonored 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can play all of them and then play Death of the Outsider.
Excited to play this one. I love the idea that you're hunting down the Outsider. What I really hate, though, is that this seems to be a way to tie off the ending and solve all the questions and wrap everything up, because I get the feeling this might be the series' swan song. I don't think we will see another Dishonored for a very, very long time, if ever, and that makes me really sad. In fact, I'm really worried about the future of Arcane Studios.
First-person stealth action games, unfortunately, do not sell for shit. Apparently, nobody likes them. Supposedly, a lot of people do. At least a lot of people say they
I sure as fuck do, and I buy all of them.
No one actually buys them day one. The problem is when your game is only picked up in Humble Bundles, you don't really want to keep making them.
No. I think
someone does have to bite the bullet and buy it up front.
Yeah, I think that does do it for new releases, which means we're now at the end of our show. This has been GamePoints episode 104.
This has been a very frustrated edition of GamePoints.
We stream here at Twitch TV/GamePoints every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please feel free to join the chat and conversate and ask questions or comments, or even bring up stuff you want to talk about. If you can't watch us live, feel free to go to YouTube and type in GamePoints one word. We should pop right up. While you're there, like, comment, subscribe, and do all that stuff that people on YouTube do. Also, feel free to follow us here at Twitch as well. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at GamePoints PC. You can follow myself at CapitalistPig21, and you can follow David over there at PalShife_Story. And that's that. Until next Monday, this has been GamePoints, and we are out of here.